Okay, so this is part four. So last we talked, my daughter had another foreign body ingestion, and I had been keeping her out of school. So we did have a meeting with everybody. Um, I went ahead and contacted my attorney, um, since they were contacting the district and trying to make this a really big deal. Um, I went ahead and contacted my attorney. So my attorney was present for the meeting. Um, we talked about all of the procedures for my daughter, what different things look like, what it looks like when she is non responsive versus when she's just asleep, because she has very detailed plans in place for a lot of things. She has a plan in place for her blood sugar, if it goes up or down, for managing her diabetes insipidus. So they weigh her diapers, so they're measuring urine output, and there's parameters for that. What needs to be done, if she needs extra water, if she needs a dose of medicine, there's parameters for that. There are parameters for when she needs to have albuterol, when she needs to have oxygen. So there are parameters for when we think she's non-responsive. What should we do? There are a lot of parameters for a lot of different things. And, if one of these things is happening, you follow those orders, from the doctor. Because one of the things that they asked me during the meeting, they're like, well, what do you want us to do? And I was like, I would like you to follow the orders that her doctor gave you. I don't understand. I'm not asking you to do anything extra. I'm asking you to do what you said you would do. Like, if her doctors give you orders, I want you to follow those orders. I think that's pretty basic to me. I'm not asking you to do something extra. I'm not asking you to go out of your way. I'm asking you to just simply do what you're supposed to do. So we thought we had everything locked in, everything ready to go, right? Apparently we did not, because I sent her back to school. The same week that I sent her back to school, I get a call or a text message in the middle of the day, and they're like, her blood sugar is high and she's coughing. Do you want to come pick her up, or what do you want us to do? What I want you to do, I want you to go into that office, to the nurse's office. I want you to look at her orders and see what you're supposed to do. Because I'm certain both of those situations are covered in the orders that have been provided to you. So instead of doing what the order said, they did what they wanted to do. So I just said, well, I'll come pick her up. I'll just come pick her up because obviously I don't know what's going on there. So I would feel better picking her up because at least I know I will do what needs to be done for her. And when I went to go pick her up, she wasn't coughing. She wasn't in distress. She was fine. So I'm like, why am I being contacted at this point? So whatever, I pick her up. And also that week, she had been very, very, very irritable, like all week long. And me and her nurse were trying to figure out, what was going on with her. We know she hadn't been pooping a lot, so we have been treating her with Miralax, just to try to make sure that it wasn't a constipation thing. But I kept her home that next day because she was still coughing. So I sent the school a message and said, she's still having the symptoms that you weren't able to treat yesterday, so I'm not sending her to school. Because if you couldn't treat her symptoms yesterday, I doubt you'll be able to treat them today. So I kept her home one more day, because she, again, was still having symptoms. So she usually, when she has a cough, it can last for 2 weeks easily. So I kept her home, and so this was like a Friday night by this time. So by Friday night, she did have a bowel movement, which I was really happy about. But what was concerning was that there was a foreign object in her bowel movement. And so I'm looking at this object, trying to figure out what it is. It doesn't look like anything that I've seen. It looks like some sort of label or something. So I was very concerned about that. But what I was more concerned about was I could still tell that there was stool that needed to come out, but it was being blocked. So I said, well, I'm going to try to see if I can give her some Miralax and see if that gets things moving enough, loose enough that she can pass whatever this is. If not, then we're going to be at the emergency room. So I let the Miralax do its thing, and she did end up passing several more things. And when I say several more things, there were at least probably 5 unique things that passed in her stool. And one of those things was the corner of an IEP document. Which to me indicated that more than likely this happened at school. One of the other things that she passed was a clamp from her feeding extension. And I know that that didn't happen at home because her nurse would have told me if she bit off a clamp off of her feeding extension. And her dad would have told me if this the same thing. And all of my extensions were intact. So there's really only one other place that this could have happened. So at that point, I said, she's done for the rest of the school year. I can't keep doing this. So I went to the school and I picked up all of her stuff that she had there, because she keeps, like spare clothes there, diapers, that kind of stuff. So I went and picked all that stuff up, picked up her power chair, which normally stays at the school. Well, attempted to pick up her power chair, which normally stays at the school. But as I was trying to load the power chair in my van, I got it up the ramp, and in order for it to fit in the back of my van, I have to lower the seat down. And so as I'm trying to lower the seat down, I just hear things cracking, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? So I raise the chair back up, I back it back down the ramp, and I see that the whole foot plate thing is broken. And I'm like, what in the world? It's detached and it's broken. So I take the chair back inside and I said, hey, I'm not sure what happened to this, but I would like you all to figure out what happened and fix it. So at this point, not only is harm being caused to my daughter at school, her property is being damaged at school. Because when that chair came to them, it was not broken. It was in good working condition. There was nothing broken on that chair when it came to them. But somehow, when it's coming back to me, it's broken. Just like when I send my daughter to school, she doesn't have anything in her airway. But somehow, when she's coming back to me, she does. So, this was the beginning of, probably, this went on for maybe 2 months of a real struggle with her school. There was a lot of tension, a lot of foolishness that went on that really didn't need to go on. Just at some point saying, hey, you know what? This probably happened here. Let's see what we can do, right?